All right, Lab Coat Agents, we've got another random acts of coaching, and this time it's with Michael. Michael, I love having you, dude. One of the most amazing things that I've learned from you specifically was the events.
Yeah.
And the events, I think, well, first of all, my team is shifting right now because all through the country, we're seeing a slight shift.
Mm-hmm.
And what you're teaching is primarily what we're using to shift.
Yeah.
And dude, Michael, I want to thank you for that. So I know you take time to kind of coach us here, but I feel like you've been coaching me this whole year. So
my pleasure, man. And kudos, here's the thing. The finest form of flattery to a coach or trainer or teacher is implementation, right? So you implement, and that's why you are who you are. And that's why you've seen the success you have, is because you are a master implementer. So kudos to you on your implementation, right? All of this is free to implement for everybody, right? And that's the joy of the 7L system, is that 99% of it is free to put into place. And the other 1 to 10% of it, you can actually make money making money, right? Like having a client appreciation event. Every appreciation event we do, we make money. Before we even get our first referral, it's plus, right? So then you add the referrals on top of that and boom, right? I mean, it's just like, it's how to make money making money. I mean, if you could choose a way to make money, would you work hard? Would you, work smart, or would you make money making money, right? And most people, it's like, you know what? I think I'll skip the working hard and the working smart, and I'll go straight to, making money making money. So
making money, dude.
That's what we're going to talk about today, man. I'm going to talk about how I got 11 referrals from my very first client.
Wow.
That's what I'm going to talk about today.
All right, let's do it.
All your other coaches, they're running out of content. I'm just getting warmed up, dude. Right? Well, it's just this is like lesson number 6 out of 176. Let's go.
I think what I'm learning, so here, my background obviously is on online leads, online lead generating and conversion.
Absolutely.
And that's what I've been doing since the market shifted in 2007 and 8, right? Before that, I was door knocking, calling expired for sell by owners. Yeah. I did quite well, but I've never really got into events.
Yeah. And the database.
And I like, for years, I'm like, why? Right? I've been like discarding all of my past clients. And it wasn't until we really sat down and talked that I realized, crap, I feel like I've been working twice as hard or even 3 times as hard as I'm really supposed to be, right? Instead of working smarter.
Yeah.
And that's really what I realized when we started talking a lot more.
Yeah, you're in a position to catch up quick. I mean, that's the beauty, is you worked really hard and you did work really smart. And so you have this great base to work off of, right? First of all, you're very likable, you're a lovable guy, and you're very competent. You do what you do at the top of the industry. And now all we have to do is just tweak some communication, which doesn't cost you a dime, right?
Dude, I agree. I'm already seeing it. So
let's roll, man, if you don't mind. I'm going to share my screen and we'll jump in. And the participants that are here today, I hope, feel very fortunate, because I'm going to give it all. I mean, I'm going to lay it out there, what we do for our strategy that got me 11 referrals from my very first client. And then it's up to them to implement or not. And then we'll take it from there.
Let's do it.
All right. Let me find it. All right. Share screen from the beginning. And I'm going to go pretty fast, right? So once again, we're talking about, there's no such thing as random. And I like I said, and probably this means more in today's world and right now than even 6 months ago. And that is, referrals are normally dominant over marketing. And, what we're finding here is that, business doesn't happen at random. Referrals don't happen at random. Referrals can and should be orchestrated. They should literally be proactively orchestrated. So, and so not only is our referrals don't happen by accident, they actually happen through orchestration and through systems. So, Once again, viewer discretion is advised on this. I tend to speak about things that are not necessarily trending in the industry, right? So no lab rats. If you don't like what I say, like keep it to yourself and go punch a punching bag or something. Don't post in lab coat agents that it won't work in your market or whatever it may be, because it will work in your market. And you know what? We have 476 people who have shown that it works in every market. So no lab rats, be a catalyst instead. Some quick announcements is I'm going to be speaking in Alaska in a week or so. So if you're in Alaska, I'll see you at the Alaska Association of Realtors.
Dude.
And then we've got some, I'll be speaking in Fargo, North Dakota with Eric Hatch. If you're going to his retreat, I'm going to be doing a special keynote there. It's going to be very, very fun. Our own event, September 25th, we've got gengenorlando.com coming up. The top 3 books as rated by Zillow, the top 3 books that they recommend, and they asked 1,000 premier agents what 3 books that you would make sure an agent read. Number 1 was 7L. Number 2, Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. And number 3 was The Conversion Code by Chris Smith. Well, the authors of all 3 of those books will be speaking at the RAIN event in Orlando on September 25th. So Chris Smith, myself, and also we have Nick Santonastasso speaking, who is one of the most inspirational guys I've ever met. No legs, 1 arm, 1 finger. He was a varsity letter winner in wrestling in high school. He has been a professional bodybuilder, professional model. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is one of his biggest fans. He has over 1 million Instagram followers.
Wow.
And he is doing our closing keynote for our Gen Orlando RAIN event on September 25th. So if you're in Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, it's worth the drive. It's worth the flight. It's worth making that happen. And then, we on our catalyst, we have Bob Berg, right? The Go-Giver, who's coming as a special guest on Catalyst. Yep. October 3rd might be a St. Louis event, rumor has it. And then October 15th through the 16th is South Florida event. That's the South Florida Mastermind. We're in negotiations to maybe make that happen. Yeah. And that includes a YPN event as well. I typically don't do events like that, but it may work for my schedule. And then a New Jersey event October 19th, and then we're right back at the end of October with another Catalyst session.
Nice.
So lots of good things happening in September and October.
All right, buddy.
All right.
I love it.
So, hey, big announcement happened last month at CRT, our Certified Referral Trainer event. We kept this under wraps for 2 years. Like, this is something that we have worked on for 2 years. It's not Vogue, it's not Time, it's not Fortune magazine, it's Referrals magazine. We launched it in a big, big way. And the first issue is, the answer is referrals, and it's all about how you got your first referral. Lots about first, right? And what's really cool is this is the cover of the first edition. And you will notice that it is a cover of covers. And you will see on this that these are beautiful people, but they are not cover models. They have a beautiful business as well as being beautiful people. And our entire mantra at Referrals Magazine, referralsmagazine.com, is subscribe today, cover tomorrow. And so who's on the cover of Referrals Magazine are people who are our subscribers, who have implemented and gotten referrals. So these cover models are actually business people like the people who are listening right now, and they are on the cover of Referrals Magazine. And trust me, this magazine is as quality as any magazine you've ever seen on the rack, and more quality than most of them. And the thing is you subscribe today, you read about the strategies and the people inside, and you implement. You could be on the cover tomorrow, next month. You could be on the cover. I don't care what you look like. I care what your business looks like. And that's the whole thing that we're doing with this magazine is listen, we're going to put implementers on the cover of our magazine, not somebody that looks good photoshopped, right? So the bottom line is this is about a beautiful business. It's about being referable, and having a referable business, do me a favor, go to referralsmagazine.com and subscribe today. Referralsmagazine.com. It's cheap. It's $20 for the year right now.
Wow.
You can subscribe to the magazine for $20 for the entire year. So do it, right? You're saving $64 today.
I love it.
All right.
All right. Just put the link up too.
Thank you. Referralsmagazine.com. Very simple.
Yep.
All right. So faster referrals. What I'm going to share today that I was talking with Tristan before the session is this is a true story. And this is how I literally got 11 referrals from my very first client. So the beauty of getting 11 referrals from my very first client is that A, I had business. B, the more important thing is now I had a strategy to get referrals from every buyer from now on. So I implemented it. I implemented it over and over and over again. And that led to me getting over 500 referrals in my third year. I did over 40 million in Kansas City, where the average sales price was 147,
Wow.
and did 187 transactions on my own in my third year of business, right? And a big part of that was the strategy that I'm going to share today. So we talked last time about, okay, what is Michael Maher's 7L system about? Well, it is an event-based business, right? So now, is 7L, people go, well, it's just all about events. We do client appreciation. No, it's not really about the events. It's about the communication around events. But the first start is to have an event or several events. So you already do events. That's the thing that we need to remind people is, hey, as an agent, you already do open houses for sellers, right? You do broker opens and caravans for sellers and agents, right? You're already doing events. So what are you doing for a buyer? Right? And you think about it, it's like, what do I do for my buyer? What event do I do for my buyer? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today is housewarming parties are the secret to getting referrals from buyers. So in the beginning, I was like a lot of people is that, I tried the typical methods, calling expireds, calling FSBO, door knocking, cold calling, the things that, and I did email campaigns and things like that. And none of it felt right. None of it felt in my heart of hearts. It really felt right. I was bothering people, interrupting people, disrupting their day. I just really felt like none of this is what I would want people to do for me. Well, the thing is so my broker said, well, you need to work with your sphere. Well, what's amazing about that is my sphere consisted of 50 people, but I actually, Tristan, had negative influence. And what I mean by that is literally like if I told these 50 people you should go see Avengers, they'd all go see Incredibles too, right? I mean, I had negative influence. I was a teacher and I was poor and I had no history of business success. So
you were a teacher?
I was a teacher for 4 years. Yep. I taught and coached 3 sports and that's what I did out of college. Yep.
Nice, dude. I didn't know that. I love that.
So, however, when you're $50,000 in debt and you're a teacher and have no practical experience, you don't have any influence, right? So they said, hey, listen, go to your 50 people and, start working your sphere. But the problem was, and this is the problem that everybody that's listening and watching this now probably fought early in their career, is perception. The perception of me was son, or high school teammate, or high school classmate, or teacher, right? The perception was not realtor, right? They'd never seen me with my realtor hat on, so they didn't have any bearing with that, right? So, and I had negative influence. I had no influence on these people at all. I could invite them to coffee and they wouldn't show. I mean, it was, and it wasn't, I mean, I was a nice guy. I just didn't have any influence. So I did one thing though. I did one thing well. And Tristan, that was, I played baseball. I played baseball in high school. I played baseball in college. I was really, really good in baseball. After my baseball career was over, I picked up softball and I played semi-pro softball and I was really good. I played professionally. I got paid to do it. I traveled United States and Canada to play softball. I played third base and many consider me one of the best third basemen to ever play softball. And I'm not saying that with any braggadocio. I mean, listen, it's softball, right? It's not professional baseball. And trust me, I've been humbled in the baseball, softball world, so I don't think I'm that big a deal. But I took a lot of pride in being the best third baseman, and I could hit, 700, 800 every year. So it was one of those where it was a great time, and I was really good at it. So, but when you play semi-pro softball, I was playing 300 games a year. In fact, I got interviewed in the paper because I played my 300th game one year. And so that's, a lot of time at the ballpark. And if I were going to, first of all, if I was going to meet a girl, she had to be a softball player or work at the softball complex, because that was the only place I was. Short story, I met my wife at Dinger's Bar at the softball complex I played at most often, right? She was, of all things, the bartender. By the way, for you younger people, date a bartender. I'm just throwing it out there. It pays really well. So now, so
good.
I got married. In fact, I married the gal I met playing softball, but it's cool. I married an idea too. And here's the thing is I was playing softball, and one of my my teammates on my team knew that I got a license, because I told you're sitting around drinking beer. And honestly, everybody here needs to know that I'm going to go play softball is code word for I'm going to go drink beer with my friends. So everybody needs to know that, especially the women, and where their husbands are going to play ball, or the husbands when the wives are going to play ball. So it's one of those where, so Davey, his nickname was Davey. His name is Davey Davis. And so he was on my team, and he did not use me in my real estate services because I was any good, because he trusted me. It wasn't because of anything except for, here's what's interesting, because of team camaraderie. He just didn't want to come to the game having used another agent when I was so enthusiastic and ready to go with my real estate career. So he said, Mayo, which was my nickname, M-A-Y-O, Mayo. Hey, Mayo, my wife and I will buy our home with you, right? If you want to do it. And I'm like, absolutely, I'll work with you, right? Wow. And that's how it started, right? So Tristan, here's what's funny. Can you imagine? I was showing Davey, this is about a month after I got my license. I was showing Davey and Vanessa homes. Tristan, literally, I was secretly hoping that they would not make an offer. I was secretly hoping that they would not. We would be walking through homes, and I would be like, oh, please, dear God, don't want to write an offer, because Tristan, I didn't have a clue. And as soon as they would have said, I'd like to write on this, I was going to be exposed as an idiot, because I was an idiot. I didn't know how to write a contract. I didn't even know there were negotiations, right? I didn't know anything. So, I mean, what do you learn in the class, right? You learn how to pass the test. Guess what? I passed the test with flying colors. I can do math, right? My degree's in math, and I could do all the other ones, right? As multiple choice, there's a logic to it. So I got through the test, but I hadn't written a contract, and I didn't know how to write a contract. So here's what's funny, Tristan. We're going through these homes, and I talked them out of every single one. It was the roof, or it was the basement, or it was the neighborhood, or it was the power plant, or it was railroad tracks too close, or what. And they were like eating it up. They were like, oh my God, it's like, you're totally you're looking after our best interest. But the actual truth was, I just didn't want to be exposed as an idiot. Tristan, we went through 20 homes, and I was talking them out of every single one. Right. And so, so we go on, and then here's what's funny is at the time in Western Olathe, Kansas, it was really blowing up. It was really expanding. Olathe went from about 50,000 to 200,000 in a matter of a few years, right? And so Western Olathe blew up. They put in schools, elementary, middle, and high school. And so new construction was popping up. And honestly, that was a real up and coming area. So there was a subdivision, brand new homes in their price range. So we go through the subdivision, and we go through the models. And I'm starting to sweat, Tristan. I'm starting to sweat. Why do you think I'm starting to sweat?
Because this one might happen.
There's nothing wrong with these homes. I cannot, like, and we walk through the 4 homes, and Davey and Vanessa are like holding hands. Their eyes are big and bright. You know, they're hugging each other. You know, all the buyer signals are coming. I mean, they're in love with these homes. And so we get back to the main model where the on-site salesperson is. And it was interesting. It was like, I have one grace, and that is there aren't any good lots, right? So the only thing I had left is there's just not going to be any good lots. And the lady goes, oh my gosh, you guys really came in the perfect weekend. We just literally opened up a new phase, and we've got cul-de-sac lots, and we have these wonderful lots that are available right now at a great price, even phase 1 pricing, which is great for the first 2 to 5 lots. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally standing there thinking to myself, this is it, Tristan. This is the end of my real estate career before I even got started. I'm going to be revealed as a fraud, as an idiot. And, you know, it's just crazy. And so the on-site agent asked Davey and Vanessa, hey, how do you like it? And they're like, oh my God, I love it. I love it. You know, they started rattling off. It's perfect. This is perfect. And I'm over here, you know, oh crap. And then the on-site agent, Tristan, goes, do you want me to write it up? True story. And I go, yes, I do. Yes, I do want you to write that up, on-site agent. Yes, I do, Nancy.
So
you write that up. And I want you to know, you make sure everything's correct, because I'm going to read every single word of that contract. And I was going to read every single word because I didn't have a clue what it said. Right. So she wrote it up, and I lived another day in the real estate industry. And, you know, what's funny is kind of to continue the story is in it, I'd gone to 2 team meetings at the brokerage, and they had kept harping on inspections, do inspections. Then there were some people who, you know, like, make sure you do inspections. They had inspection nightmares. And so I had them write in the additional terms and conditions that we had the right to do inspections on the new home. Well, fast forward 3.5 months, about 2 weeks before closing, we did inspections, and my inspector found a basement column that they had left out. So there was actually a basement column. Now, to be fair to the builder, the column was a bonus. The column was it was optional. It was like you could or could not get by. The span was wide enough that, hey, listen, if you put one there, it's extra. But the builder worked with us. They put in the extra column, and Davey and Vanessa like thought I was like the genius, because if I hadn't done it, and they were saying like nobody ever does inspections on new homes, and it's amazing that it was such a good job by your agent to do inspections. and so we did inspections, and the only thing I did right there, and it ended up so they got into their home all sweet and so on and so forth. But did you
eventually tell them that was your first sale, or did they already?
No, hell no. No, I wasn't telling anybody. I didn't want, like I said, I didn't want to be exposed as a fraud, as an idiot. Now here's the thing. Later on, I told Davey and Vanessa it was my first deal, and I think Davey knew something was up, right? I think he, but he never said anything, and it worked out so well for them and so well for me that he didn't care, you know. So here's the thing. When you first do business, you don't have any money, and you have a lot of time, and you like to party, or at least I did. So what I did is I thought, hey, we'll have a housewarming party for Davey and Vanessa. So we had a housewarming party, and they gave me the names, addresses, and phone numbers of the people they wanted to invite. And then I planned it. I ordered pizza, invited about 20 of their neighbors, and all I did was show up. And what an experience.
Wow.
It's a housewarming party. Everybody's so happy. And the main topic was real estate. And everybody's like, congratulations, Davey and congratulations. But they were also congratulating me, Tristan. They were like, great job, Michael. And of course, Davey and Vanessa had the column story, right? The basement column story. So they told that probably 15 times during the party. But I got 11 referrals from that party, 11 people who ended up wanting to buy a home. And Tristan, if we have time at the end, remind me to tell you the Spencer and April Egan story. Okay. If we have time.
All right.
Spencer and April Egan. I met them at Davey and Vanessa's party. So, you know, it works. It works. We now throw a housewarming party for more than 50% of our buyer clients, but we offer it to every buyer. We offer it. Now, notice that only 50 to 60 actually take us up on the offer, 40% decline, but you have to realize that's also awesome, right? Hey, listen, we're going to throw a housewarming party for you. And they go, oh, you know what? That's really nice of you to say, but you don't have to. You got to realize there's power in them declining the housewarming party, because it's a gesture. It's a nice gesture, and it shows you go above and beyond, even if you didn't have to.
Yeah.
So in my second year alone, so in 2 years, I added over 2,000 people to my database. So I went from 50 people to 2,050 people in my database. But that's not all. I had met 90% of those people at housewarming parties, and 1,800 people had met me face to face, but not just face to face. It was realtor face. So I had my realtor. So they only knew me as a realtor, but not only did they know me as a realtor, they knew me as the realtor who threw housewarming parties. And you know what? It's really hard to be a jerk and throw someone a housewarming party. You can't be a jerk. People come to me, you know, occasionally, and they say, well, you know what? The housewarming party thing didn't work for me. And I go, that's because you're a jerk. Right? I mean, it won't work if you're a jerk. But it will work if you're a nice person. I mean, honestly, how many of us feel if people would just know us, if they would know our heart, if they would know how much we care, they would work with us and refer us, right? And I would guess that's everybody in Lab Coat Agents, except for the lab rats who we're gradually kicking out of the group.
That's right.
Now, why does it work? The platinum rule. It treats people the way they want to be treated. It's a system. It's a system. And I'm going to show you a way to get that system for free at the end of this session. It's a way to show people the good person that you are, which is really, really important. Grew my database very quickly. So reasons to have a housewarming party. So let's think, Tristan, let's think on terms of being an agent. What are some great reasons for an agent or a buyer's agent to have housewarming parties? What are some reasons?
To grow your database?
Probably the single best way to grow your database. What else? Right?
To get referrals, right? To get
great answer, right? And by the way, you know that's the secret. Anytime I'm speaking, if I ask a question, just say referrals, and the answer is right? So it's probably the single greatest way to grow your database, because people see you with the realtor hat on, with the realtor name badge on. It's fun and appropriate. Doesn't it make sense that your buyer's agent threw you a housewarming party when you moved into the house? Doesn't it just make sense, right?
Dude, totally.
You go from outside the circle to inside the circle with your buyers, meaning when you show homes, it's you and the couple most of the time. But when you go to their housewarming party, you get to meet the rest of their circle, and everybody knows they worked with you. Also, it's easier to refer you if they've met you, of course. Also, it's extremely inexpensive. In fact, even if you had to pay for it, it'd be great, but I'm going to show you how to get it paid for before we end this.
Nice.
It builds commitment and loyalty. It builds a positive reputation and brand. It's a huge social media opportunity. You don't have to do anything. They're going to take all the pictures. They're going to brag on social media about you. It's going to be great. And also, it's an excuse to keep in touch after closing. And that's the thing is too many agents treat the closing like a door closing behind the relationship. And what we really need to treat it as the beginning of the relationship, right? You had a transactional relationship. Now have a transformational relationship, right? Have a great relationship when it comes to the client. Well, if you are having a housewarming party for them, you have to keep in touch. So it forces you to keep in touch. The last thing is this. It's called the halo effect. You want to be around when people are happy. And when you're around happy people, they actually see you and think happy thoughts. So it's one of those where you're there, you're meeting them in the best light possible. And anytime they see your number, they see your sign, they see your billboard, whatever it is, they're going to have a good feeling about you because of how they met you. So it's a very powerful part of this. Now, why should the homeowner do a housewarming party? Right? Gifts, of course, right? Mm-hmm. It is a great way to meet the neighbors. And I truly believe that a homeowner's experience depends on their relationship with their neighbors. Bad relationship with the neighbors, bad situation. Good relationship with the neighbors, good situation. They're going to have a good homeownership experience. It lets them show off their new house. It's a really fun way to celebrate. But one big thing is it actually gives them a deadline to move in and get last minute projects finished before the party, right? So if you have the party 30 to 45 days after closing, it's amazing if the party's on day 45, how much stuff gets done on day 45.
That's
right?
So true, dude.
And I truly believe that everyone should have a housewarming party. I believe that. Like when I get into my new house, I'm going to have a housewarming party. We, the Maher team, the Kansas City home team, treat the housewarming party as critical, imperative, important, and a crucial part of the home buying process. It needs to be done for the homeowner. The homeowner needs to do it. Whether they do it with us or not, they should do a housewarming party. And by the way, we have a system for it, so we can do it for you at no cost. So let us know if you want us to do it. All right. So now what I'd like to do is do like, all right, how do we succeed before the party? And then how do we succeed during the party? And then how do we succeed after the party? Does that sound good, Tristan?
Yeah, totally, man.
And I'll do it quick, right? So who do we invite? We invite 40 of their friends and 20 of their neighbors on average. We invite the lender. We occasionally invite sponsors, right? Closer, insurance agent, inspector, warranty rep. What kind of food? Doesn't matter. Pizza is great. Barbecue is what we did in Kansas City. It makes a lot of sense in Kansas City to do barbecue. Mexican is something that a lot of people do. Wine and cheese is an option as well. It says here Saturday evening is best, or Friday evening. Don't worry about Friday. Don't do it on Friday. Just do Saturdays. Do Saturday 4 to 6, 5 to 7, or 6 to 8. Where are you going to do it? Homeowner's home. And how much does it cost? Normally it's about $500, but how about we make it for free or make some money, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So here's 4 tips for before the party. First, introduce the housewarming party early in the relationship. We bring it up at the buyer's consultation or the first showing. So we are literally like, hey, I don't know if I mentioned, but one of the services that we provide is we throw you a housewarming party once you close your home. We do it 30 to 60 days after you close, and that is part of our service, right? You don't have to pay for that. That is part of what we do, okay?
That's
so
awesome.
You're going to introduce it early. That way you're not popping them at closing, hey, want to do a housewarming party? And they're like, oh my God, I have a million things to do. It's not happening, right? Now, the next thing is this is how you make it for free or make money doing it. Line up your sponsor partners beforehand, if possible. Just say, hey, lender, we do a housewarming party for our clients. It's going to cost around $500. Would you mind doing half of that? Would you mind paying for the food? Okay, good. All right. You go to the title rep. Hey, listen, we're doing this housewarming party. It's not for agents. It's for consumers. And by the way, the party's going to cost around $500. Would you mind doing $250? Right? We'll do it. Great. Also, then you go to your inspector, right? Hey, listen, you did the inspection. You get to show up to the party. I'm going to talk about to everyone at this party. I'm going to tell everyone that they should do an inspection every 3 to 4 years on their home. So you might get business immediately from this. If you sponsor this party, the party's going to be around $500. Would you chip in $100, Mr. Inspector? Yes, I would. Great. Warranty rep. Hey, listen, this home has a warranty. Do you think the chances of them renewing this warranty at the end of 12 months goes up if they've met the warranty rep? The answer is yes. So here's the deal. It's $500. Would you mind doing $100 towards the party? Yes, we would. Great. Yeah. So onward and upward, right? And you can even make the caterer a sponsor and get half price on the food, right? So there's many entrepreneurial actions that you can take to make money from the housewarming party. Now, your job is not to make money on the housewarming party, right? This is their party, not yours. And you don't want 10 sponsors, right? You want 5 at the most. But it's very, very powerful. And guess what? They're all on board. And here we go. Now, 2 weeks before closing, we call all of our clients, even our sellers and even our investors. But we will call our clients and we simply ask, how are we doing? How are we doing as a team? You know, how's the transaction coordinator doing? How's the buyer's agent? How did the buyer's agent do? How did the inspector do? How is the lender doing? How is the warranty rep doing? All of the above, right? And so we ask how they're all doing. And now the main reason we do this call is because if there's any issues, we want to correct it before closing, right?
Yeah.
If closing, it's too late at closing, right? So let's find out what's going on. We want to also know 2 things that are very important during this call. Have you talked to the sellers, right? And sometimes they say yes, and that's not good. You don't want the buyer and the sellers talking. That never ends up going very well. The other thing I ask about is their job, right? I say, how's work going? Anything new going on at work? And what I want to do there, of course, is I want to make sure that they still have a job, right? And don't change jobs before closing, because if they change jobs or lose their job, then they're not going to be a closing. So I also ask them if they've made any big purchases or are planning to make any big purchases, and I will remind them, hey, listen, don't put it on credit, right? Don't change your credit until after closing. So that's a really good call to make sure closings happen. It also shows a lot of experience and a lot of power. But at the end of that call, I'll say, hey, listen, once you move, it's going to get pretty crazy. Right now, probably have a good idea of who you want to invite to your housewarming party. So you've got those names, addresses, things like that somewhere. So here's the deal. Let's gather those up. I will call you, or Janae, my party planner, will call you, and you guys just spend like 15 minutes just to gather up that information. We'll put it into a nice, neat Excel spreadsheet for you. We'll put it on a thumb drive for you. We'll give that to you after closing. So you've got that mailing list. You can use it for anything. But the thing is let's start rounding that up before you move. Okay? Does that sound good?
That sounds good.
Great. It's our pleasure to do that. And it'll help us with your housewarming party when you do that. All right. So that's the how are we doing call. At closing, 2 weeks later, we have a closing survey that just honestly, it repeats basically everything that we talked about on the how are we doing call. They rate everybody. Then at the bottom of the closing survey, they circle the date and the time of their party. So we have 3 dates and 3 times of their party. So they would circle the date, circle the time, and please note, once they circle the date and time, they have committed to doing the housewarming party, and we push go in the office to make that party happen on time. All right. So this goes on the stand in the home. I just want you to note, this is, notice the sponsors at the bottom. This is just this is the only marketing at the event, Tristan, is a 8.5 by 11 in a plastic stand. All it says is, welcome to the new home of the Diaz family, housewarming provided by your team name and the sponsors, right? Dude, that's it. Yeah. All right. We're getting rolling here, right? So here's the thing. So invitations, save the date. You don't have to do a paper invitation. We have found they are a benefit to us as well as the homeowner. And then use Evite. You want to get the Evite out 4 weeks before. You want to get the save the date out 4 weeks before. A little ninja trick on the hard is use an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper for your invitation. Fold it in 3. Put a business card magnet in the middle of the invitation. When they take it out, they will put the invitation and the magnet on the refrigerator. When the party's over, they throw the invitation away. They leave the magnet.
Dude, that is a little cool trick there. I like that.
Yeah, so here's a couple of magnets. All right. Deering. So you're going to show up early. You're going to put out signage. I have an example of a sign that I'll show you next. Have the homeowner give you a tour and set up your registration table. Registration table could be a chair. It could be a end table. It could be a couch. It could be a buffet table that they have. The bottom line is it's somewhere for people to stop at the front door and get a name badge, enter the door prize drawing by filling out the door prize entry form, write on a housewarming card. So we always do a card that says, congratulations on your new home. We have everybody sign it at the front door, right? And then we give that to the homeowner before we leave. Now, your job is not to be a seller or a realtor. You act as a server and you take people on tours. Now, act as a server, and trust me, when you do the tours, people will bring up real estate. Don't bring it up first. Let them bring it up. And they will be so impressed that you were there just to serve and not to sell. Then you need to leave early. That's right. If the party is 6 to 8, you're showing up at 5:30, you're leaving at 7:30. You're going to gather everyone up. You're going to give away the door prizes while bragging on the sponsors. You're going to brag on the homeowner and the buyer, whether they deserve it or not. Then you're going to give the closing gift, and then you're going to leave. And you're going to say something like, hey, this is your party, not mine. Thank you for sharing your friends and family with me. I really enjoyed it. And the sponsors and we're out of here. Enjoy your rest of the night. And that's it.
Dude, that's beautiful.
Housewarming party sign. So this is a sign that's going to go out at every corner. We put out 10 signs for every party. If I had this to do again, I would have done black on the yellow background. Black would have stood out even more than the blue. Blue stands out well, but we can do better, right?
Yeah.
And then one of our catalysts does, instead of doing the little card, they actually take the border out of this picture and they have all of the guests write with a fine point Sharpie a note of congratulations or welcome to the neighborhood on the white border. Make sure you sign it first, by the way. And their picture of their new home goes in the middle. Tristan, this is right up your alley, dude. Right?
This is pretty sweet, bro.
Yeah. So you put an awesome picture of their house in the middle, and then cover it up with a black sack or a brown sack, or have somebody gift wrap it or whatever. And then you're going to so that happens at between 5:30 and 6:30 at the registration table. Now realize the homeowners aren't up at the registration table. They're back at the food or back talking to people, and you want to keep them back there. And then what happens is everybody signs it. And then when you do the door prizes, their friends win, which is awesome. And then you go, this is a gift, not just from me, not just from the sponsors, but truly from everybody here, everybody that loves you, everybody that cares about you. Here's our gift. And then they rip open this picture, and it's a frame of their new home with everybody having signed around it. It is a tear-jerking moment, right? That is a big wow. And that is an awesome touch. And it cost about $20, right? All right.
Wow.
Then, by the way, a little extra tip here is have the homeowners help getting the remaining door prize entry forms. Just say, hey, listen, we're about ready to do the door prizes. Can you make sure your friends and family fill out the door prize entry forms if they want to win the door prizes, right? Have them or their children help draw the names. You're going to thank them and praise them, the homeowners, and then give them your housewarming gift and then leave. What we do is a white-handled Cutco spreader. It says, thank you for spreading the word on it with our name and logo. Makes it 100% tax deductible. The white handle stands out like $1 million in their kitchen. It's amazing how I've been over to people's houses later and I see like their brown or black handled knives, and then you got this white one sticking out like a beautiful, wonderful, ode. So what do we do after? This is a ninja selling trick number like 7,000, right? So 7:30, I'm leaving. It's 7:36. I pull into the first retail spot I find and I text the homeowner. And I text them both. If it's Davey and Vanessa Davis, I'm texting them both and I'm saying, hey, Vanessa, hey, Davey, thank you so much for sharing your friends and family with me tonight. I enjoyed meeting them. Hope you had a good time too. Bottom line is I appreciate you and thank you so much for being a client of the Maher team. And that's it. And I hit send, right? Now, let's talk about 7:30 leaving early. Why do you leave early at 7:30?
My assumption from always listening to what you've got to say, bro, is probably so they can talk some good stuff about you.
They're going to talk about you. Now, if they don't talk about you, it's okay. But you give them the opportunity to talk about you. They do, right? And it is their party, not yours. But then 7:36, they get this text. Now, here's the thing. I'm not doing it so they'll talk about me some more or share the text message, right? They do that, but I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I really, really sincerely appreciate them. But guess what? I did it organically in the beginning. And guess what? They started sharing it and I heard about it. And so it became part of the system, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what do we do afterwards? The fortune is in the follow-up. We're going to send a handwritten power note to the homeowners. Then we mail a standardized thank you, 8.5 by 11. Looks exactly like the invite, looks exactly like the card that is in the home in the plastic sheet or in the plastic stand. It looks just the same. And then we call all the attendees with a non-prospecting, non-threatening thank you call that is thanking them for attending. Right? Hey, we're calling on behalf of Davey and Vanessa. I just wanted to say thank you so much for attending. They had a great time. I hope you did too. Honestly, I'm just calling to say thank you. And that's it. It's amazing how often those calls turn into real estate calls though. Then we are going to email a follow-up with a nice thank you email. So we just say that it's this exact same script as the phone call. It's just written and sent in an email. And that is a personal email. There's no signatures or crap around it. It's just literally just a thank you email, right? Now, please note what we're doing here. We are checking their mailing address that they put on the door prize entry form. We are checking their phone number that they put on the door prize entry form. We are checking the email that they put on the door prize entry form. And then we put the names, addresses, phone numbers, and emails in our database. Well, that keeps our database really, really clean. Right? Because do people occasionally give you a number that's not theirs? Yes. Do they occasionally give you an email that's not theirs? Yes, it does happen occasionally. And I don't want crap in my database. I want to keep my database clean, right? So we've checked all those with a very nice gesture, which is a thank you, right? All right, last words of wisdom, and then we're going to wrap up, right? This is not a marketing event, period. If the homeowners or the guests or the neighbors sniff commission breath or marketing breath, they will tune you out. Relax and have fun. It's going to come, ladies and gentlemen. Referrals, you will receive referrals from the housewarming parties. They will say things like, well, my agent didn't throw a party for me. Or, the attendees will say, I've never heard of a realtor doing something like this. It's okay, right? They're going to bring it up. The number one topic when you give the tours of the home will be real estate. They will bring it up. Don't be the first to bring it up. Let them bring it up. They will ask you. They will ask about the current market, the stats for the neighborhood, current interest rates, how much down payment for a home in this neighborhood, all those kind of things. The biggest thing is don't worry about it. You're doing a good thing. You're not paying for it. You've got sponsors paying for it. Enjoy the party. Enjoy the moment. It's a big deal for the homeowner. So just let them enjoy it. Don't take away from the enjoyment of the moment for the owner. The more they enjoy it, the more referrals you will receive. And I've got a couple sheets of pictures here, and then we can take some questions, Tristan. How's that sound?
Perfect, man.
All right. So this is the invitation on the left side.
Okay.
This is the pointer sign. This is the sign that goes in the plastic stand at the home. This is the only marketing at the home. This is the door prize entry form, right? Where they get to fill out their name, address, phone number, and email, and hopefully refer you, right?
Ooh, I love that one.
Yeah. And then the housewarming parties, right? So registration table. This is a picture with the homeowners and the sponsors, homeowners and sponsors. You may want to just mentally note that. This is a picture with the agent and 2 sponsors, right? This is the door prize drawing. Everybody's excited except for her. She drew, and she did not pick her parents. So she got, the parents are yelling at her for not picking their name. I'm just kidding. And then up here, ladies and gentlemen, people tell me, what if the home's not big enough for a party or what? It's like, hey, spillover is your best friend. Patio, driveway, garage, front yard, backyard, the bottom open lot across the street. We've seen it all, right? So it will spill out. But the last picture I really want to hone in on is this one down here, right? Look at that picture, Tristan. Right?
Dude.
Let me zoom in real quick. Look at that picture, right? So this is the homeowner. Are they happy?
Dude, she's like ready to cry.
She is ready to cry. You know why? Because Mrs. Diaz is the first homeowner in the history of her family, Tristan.
Wow.
She is the first one in her family to own a home, right? And he made it happen. She made it happen. But I really want you to focus right here. This is the real estate agent, obviously, by the name badge.
Yeah, I know.
So this is the real estate happen. I want you to look at her. Is she happy?
Dude, she's super happy, bro.
When was the last time you were that freaking happy doing real estate? Right? And here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, she's prospecting. This is prospecting. We don't call it lead generation. We call it generosity generation. She is generating generosity. She is giving. She is helping. And this is what the face of somebody doing the 7L system looks like. So that's my stuff today. I'd love to answer some questions. And here's the thing, right? I have a gift. This is my last one, right? I mean, it's like crazy. It's like falling off a cliff in some way. And so here's the thing. I want to give a gift to everybody that's here and helping and has been hanging out with us for the last 6 months. Is how would you like to have the entire housewarming party for free? The whole system. Dude. You're going to get the checklist, which is 3 pages. The procedures, which explains in more detail the checklist. The door prize entry form, right, which comes in 2 a sheet. You cut it in half, right? Mm-hmm. The whole thing. You can have the whole housewarming party system. It's normally a $497 value.
Okay.
If those that are listening or watching will go to referralsmagazine.com and subscribe for a year for $20. If you subscribe for a year for $20, you will get the entire system of the housewarming party system as our bonus to you.
Okay, I'm typing it out, so I may ask you for that again. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. So if they go to referralsmagazine.com.
Referralsmagazine.com.
And when they for 1 year?
Subscribe for 1 year, which saves them $64 right now. They will get the housewarming party system in its entirety as our bonus to them.
For 1 year at 20. All right.
So here's the deal. They're going to get 12 magazines of great content and people like them who are doing really well with referrals and great referral examples and great customer service examples. And they will also get the housewarming party system because they're on this Zoom right now.
Perfect, dude. I am also going to make a brand new post about what we just talked about because I made a blog as we were talking.
Okay.
And I'm going to tie a link to the webinar we just did, or the Facebook Live. So you're going to see a lot of engagement on that. And at the very bottom, I put in that referrals magazine.
Referralsmagazine.com. Yeah. Yeah. Ask away. I'm good with all questions. I've actually got some time here. So.
All right. Scott's asking, is it the magazine or emailed separately?
It'll be an insert in the magazine. So they will get it. They will not only get the magazine, which is about housewarming parties, they will also get the insert, the housewarming party system insert. All right. And they're not just going to get mine. They're also going to get some examples of other people's experiences and systems and checklists about the housewarming party.
Nice. Like Nicole, who you just showed a picture of, right? So that was good.
Tara.
Tara.
Yep.
Sorry.
So Tara's stuff is in there. Shannon Gilmore's stuff is in there. Darla Evanoff's. I mean, like, there's a lot of people's stuff in there.
Sorry, I was reading Nicole Rick's question. I apologize. I switched the names.
Yeah.
She said, I already did. Awesome. By the
Thank
way,
you.
Michael, I'm reading 7 levels for the past month, and she loves it. So
Awesome. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate that.
Nicole is super awesome. Here's a question there's a few questions on the Facebook side. Hold on.
All good.
I'll start with the top one. I've had some problems with clients wanting to have these parties. How can we get more people to want to have these housewarming parties?
Introduce it early. If you introduce it from the first showing or at a buyer's consultation and you talk about the benefits of it, like meeting the neighbors, like gifts, some people are attracted to getting gifts, and the projects will get done. I mean, there's people that you're working with, they still haven't unmoved all of their stuff from the previous move. So it's like, hey, listen, this is kind of a completion date to make sure that you move in all the way between 30 and 60 days after closing. So introduce it early and then remind them during the how are we doing call, the closing survey, and run the system, I guess is the short answer.
Nice. All right. I agree with you, dude. From everything I was writing down, I think the one thing that stood out for me because my question was exactly his question, is how can I get the majority of my clients, and I know you said like 40, 50, 60% actually say that they'll do it, was how to get them to do it. And the thing was, you have to build it into that whole system.
It's part of the process.
Yeah.
It's just like an inspection, right? Why do people do inspections? Because you tell them to.
You tell them to.
Right? So have the housewarming party be part of the process, and they'll do it because you told them to, right?
Exactly. All right.
Here's the other thing. If they won't do a housewarming party, they may not refer you. So it's a great test of the relationship is to ask them and then say, listen, was it something we did, right? Was it something we did that you don't want to do the housewarming party, or was it another reason, right? And they'll say, actually, I'd like to talk to you about your buyer's agent, right? Or whatever. Or they'll say, no. We're new to the area. There really aren't any neighbors, and we're both engineers. We work a lot. We just don't think it's the right time. Right. And it's like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, I agree, dude.
It only takes one, right? It only takes one. You have one, you'll get 6 to 8 referrals if you run the system, and you'll have 6 to 8 referrals that you need to follow up with, which is gonna make you somewhat busy.
Somewhat busy.
Right. Well,
I think it'll build your whole business.
Yeah. Follow through diligently.
I think that's the key, man. I really do.
See, people have more of a problem, right? And like talking about Catalyst is they get the problem of everybody says yes. And then all of a sudden they've got 6 referrals from this party, 4 from this one, 8 from this one, and 12 from this one. Well, they've never had 30 referrals in a year. And here they have in 2 weeks, June, this happened in June, in 2 weeks, they now have 4 housewarming parties. 4 sets of referrals to follow up with, 30 referrals, right? So
yeah. I think
that's a good problem to have.
That is a good problem to have. One other question is, so when you get all of these referrals, this one's on Facebook, where do you put them? What CRM do you use to stay on top of them?
So I put them into the CRM. We forever have used Agent Office or Office 2000, which is no longer being sold anymore, no longer being serviced anymore, which is really sad because it's one of the best CRMs ever made. But listen, I put a lot of stuff in Excel, which I know sounds old school and it sounds crappy, but you know what? It works for me. Right? It works.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, whatever works, right? Whatever works for you.
And I believe, I don't care if you keep it on paper. I don't care if you got to realize you have the door prize entry forms with the referrals on it. So you can do anything you want with those door prize entry forms. So,
well, dude, I might put them on like in an inexpensive CRM like LionDesk.
Heck yeah. LD would be great. 100%.
Yeah, put them, you can text them throughout the year.
Yeah, Buffini's referral maker, right? Put it in there, right?
Yeah.
Something simple, something easy. Do not put it on a drip though, right? I mean, okay, so I'm like I'm a little bit anti-drip for your database. I'm not anti-drip for internet leads because you know why? Because they work for internet leads. But I am like, don't drip your database. But that's like a whole story for another day. Don't drip on me. If I'm your friend, don't send me a market report. Don't send me updates on the market. Don't do that, right? Just be a freaking friend, right?
There's no authenticity in that, dude. You lose it.
That's all I got, man.
I agree. All right, one more question. If can you let me read the question. For Facebook, is there anything that you're doing to let people know about the housewarming party? So I think
no. If the homeowner does their thing on Facebook, that's on them. But this is the good thing, and so we use Evite. People all the time. It's like I have to tell you, one thing I need to build is I need to build something like Evite that is customized to the 7L system. I need to do that. But for the short term, Evite's great because here's the thing: the homeowners share the Evite link in their Facebook, and people go RSVP at the party, which is going to me, right? So it's like it's great if they're promoting it, and then I am only focusing on the people that they gave me. So that's my job.
All right, dude. And you have time for another question?
And the neighbors, by the way. I'm good. Give me 3 or 4 quick questions. I'll answer them like rapid fire.
What do you do with the database after you have it?
So that's the power of the 7L system. We've talked about the yearly appreciation plan and the yearly ambassador program, like the events, right? We have a 52-week event, right? So once they're in, they get invited to our events, and it's obviously they want to go to events because they went to a housewarming party. So they're event-going people. We're going to continue building the relationship by bringing them to our events. I mean, that's like the big global answer. I mean, the granular of that is a webinar for another day.
That's true. You know what? Somebody mentioned here that we should update our LCA Marketing Center to include the housewarming invites and maybe the housewarming, everything that you're doing with the housewarming and events.
Yeah.
So we could possibly do that so that we have templated things for you guys.
Yeah, so we usually keep that behind one level of entry. So maybe we work something out there, right? Yeah, maybe in the marketing center, they subscribe to Referrals Magazine and then they get the paperwork.
Yeah, there's like a special code. Good idea. Yeah. All right, dude. I'm down with that. And somebody, Tatiana says, no, that was Tatiana's question. Michael says, I signed up while on this webinar. So I look forward to receiving the party planning information.
Who is that? Because here, Tristan, you and I both know who are the ones that really succeed in real estate and business are the action takers. So it's like, boom, right? Whoever you are, boom, right? If you signed up, put I signed up, and I'm going to come find you when I see this video on Tristan, are you okay with that?
Totally okay, dude.
Right? Say, I signed up. Here's the thing. Referralsmagazine.com. I signed up. Here's the other thing. Tell everybody it's $20 for the rest of the day.
That's crazy. Well, I'm posting that up on Lab Cuts too. So
God, that's like you're an influencer, dude. You're an influencer.
Well, dude, you know, we're friends, man.
Well, let's not push it. You're an influencer, dude.
You're hilarious. Oh, that was good.
That's awesome.
All right.
So you know what? If you don't have any fun in this business will eat you up, dude. It will churn you and put you into pieces. And you know what? You gotta have a sense of humor. You gotta have some fun with this. And I love it. So
Charlotte Hypes, he's asking, how do we get the inserts after we sign up, Michael?
Yeah. So September, it's all going out to everybody that subscribed. Perfect. So September, it's the housewarming party issue, and you're going to get it.
And we've got almost everybody that attended the webinar portion of it is typing that they signed up. So,
that is all, Tristan. I made $1 per person. So how much did I make on this thing? I mean, this is huge.
I don't know.
Oh my God, I can eat dinner tonight. I've lost 10 pounds in a week because I haven't eaten. I didn't have any money to get dinner, and now unfortunately, that goes through PayPal and they take 60%. So I actually made 40 cents a person.
Hey.
So listen, 40 cents a person times 100. I mean, that's
That's a good start, man. That's a good start.
Listen, that's a really good dinner. I mean, I might go to somewhere like Olive Garden or something like upper class. You know, I'm from Gardner, right. So Applebee's is a really nice dinner. I'm not a Tristan Ahumeda, right? I mean, it's like really nice dinner. You know, like you fly up to San Francisco, go to ScoMa's, hang out on the pier. You know, it's a different life. It's all good.
Oh, dude. All right, bro. Well,
all right. One more question, and then I got to go. I'm going to go pick up my son at school. So.
All right, man. Thank you so much.
That it? Oh, okay. I thought you had one more question. So.
No, that's it. You'll have a lot of questions in the group. So if you want to go in later and answer them, there'll be quite a few.
Okay. I'll go in either tonight or tomorrow. Thanks, Tristan, for having them. I know we ran a little bit long with the questions and everything today. I appreciate you. And love it.
Thanks so much.
Keep working it.
Thanks, bud.